The new tax law, signed just this summer, is bringing some big changes for taxpayers, from expanded deductions to new rules on tips, overtime, and Social Security. But with nearly 900 pages of updates, it can be tough to really know what matters. So to help us break it all down, we have financial expert Neil Brown joining us. Neil, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Of course. All righty. So now for the average taxpayer, we do want to ask you, 900 pages, that is a lot. But in all of that, what is something that taxpayers you think the most important that people should know?
A couple of things to think about. The tax law that they passed is really an extension of the 2017 tax law. So a lot of people are calling it a tax break. It's just really an extension of what was already in existence. You were going to get a tax increase if they didn't extend it, but there's a lot of things in there that help all over the place, but mainly focusing on individuals. You'll see an extension of the income tax rates. You'll see, as you said, tax-free Social Security, which is not really tax-free, but we can talk about a lot of those things.
Yeah, I don't like when you put it in text. I don't really like the quotes there. But I mean, there was so much to kind of really break down with all of this. Let's get into it. So let's go ahead and talk about those everyday impacts. We have the standard deduction that went up, but will really people notice it on their returns?
They're going to notice small amounts. These are not huge tax breaks. It would have been a big tax increase had they not extended the tax cuts from 2017. So it's really more of you're getting tax breaks by not getting tax increases. But the increase of the standard deduction, most people are going to see $200, $300, maybe $400 increases in their tax refunds or amounts that they owe less because of the increase in standard deductions.
Okay, so there's going to be something.
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be something, but not as much as maybe people are hoping for?
Correct. I mean, when you look at it, there's a lot of small things that add up in here.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be governed by everything, then you're going to see pretty good tax cuts, reductions in your taxes. But if you're just getting one piece here or one piece here, you may not notice it as much, but had they not passed the tax extension, you would have noticed a big tax increase.
So then what about the child tax credit that also increased slightly? How's that going to affect families?
For people who have a child under the age of 17, so not 17 and under, but under 17,
okay,
you're going to see an extra $200 child tax credit in there. So again, not enough money to help raise your children, but this number has been in effect for years and has not been inflation adjusted. So the extra $200 that you're getting this year is simply an inflation adjustment.
I mean, it's something, right?
Absolutely, small things add up.
Exactly, and that's what I think we have to kind of look at it in a way like a glass half full, right? You could be getting nothing.
Absolutely, or it could have been going up.
Right, exactly. Let's go ahead and talk. So we went for the kids. Let's go ahead and talk about adults. $6,000 deduction for people over 65. What does that mean for retirees?
Yeah, when they first started talking about the tax law, there was a lot of talk on both sides of the political aisles on tax-free Social Security. Really didn't happen. But what they did was they gave everybody over the age of 65 an extra $6,000 deduction on top of their normal deductions.
Okay.
So a couple, both over 65, gets an extra $12,000 off. Now you don't have to be receiving Social Security, so it's not really against your Social Security. It can be against other income as well, but it's just an extra $6,000 that they tossed at you from a deduction. Now the negative with this is it starts to phase out or you lose it very quickly. So if you're single and your income goes above $75,000 or married filing jointly above $150,000, this $6,000 deduction starts to go away. So it was really geared towards lower and middle income seniors to help them with their tax bills.
Okay, so that's kind of the age bracket and the tax bracket pretty much who's going to be really affected.
Absolutely, you're not going to see, I mean, if you're a $250,000 taxpayer,
right,
you're not going to get the benefit. And the reason for passing this part of the tax law was to help the people who really needed the benefit.
Right. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. Tips and overtime. They're getting tax relief as well. So how is that going to impact like service workers, maybe people who are on an hourly job? How's that going to work?
Yeah, another thing that you saw on the political campaign was tax-free tips, tax-free overtime. And the IRS is still issuing regulations for this, so it's not necessarily as beneficial as you think. Again, it phases out above certain income levels, but most people who are going to qualify for tips aren't above those income levels. And when you look at it, there's a certain level that you get. Once your income goes above it, you start to lose it. And it does reduce your federal and state income taxes, but it does not decrease your Social Security and Medicare taxes, which if you're on a tip salary, a tip income, a lot of times that's your biggest tax bill is going to be Social Security and Medicare. So you're going to see benefits. But it's also, I couldn't change my salary to tips and you couldn't change yours to tips.
Right.
It's got to be in a service industry where tips are normally provided. So there's a lot of regulations that are still to be written out there, but it will help those people.
Okay, there you go. So then my last question is, as we're rounding all of this up, in total, could we see a lower tax bill under this new law?
Most people, probably 75 to 85% of people
Wow.
will see a lower tax bill. Definitely, if they would have not extended it, you would have seen a much higher tax bill. But on average, you know, a normal person, single, a normal couple, maybe $700 to $1,500 differential. But had it not been extended, they probably would have seen a $2,000 to $3,000 increase.
Wow. See, there you go. It's something.
Absolutely.
At least we're getting something that is always some good news to report over there. I mean, who doesn't like to get some extra money in their
We all
pocket?
do.
I love it. Neil, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here. We appreciate you as always. And we're going to be putting all these tips on our website later on today at WLTX.com.
Good Monday morning to you. We'll start off with